Okay, what we have here is this is my Sentry machinery tool lathe. I got this down at Harbor Freight, and you can pick them up from anywhere from $149 up to over $200. I got my chuck here on eBay. This is a 4-jaw chuck, but I converted it to 2 jaws, just remove the 2. These are nice because these are removable and it's self-centering. So you can see if you had to turn these around, there's a whole different set of chucks that you can use in here and replace these. So I've locked my wood in here. This is briar. Got that from Tim West. And I've marked the center. Now what I normally do is I'll just put in my tailstock, I'll put this long bit in here, and then we'll go ahead and do that real quick for you. I'll slide it to show me that I'm pretty close to center when I'm spinning this around, okay? And we're close enough where I'm happy with that. So now I'm moving my tailstock back. And this is a Atlas or Craftsman compound rest. I mounted it onto my lathe. You can see what I did here. I used a cross piece. That's my lock. I drilled a hole through it. This is an 1.25 inch channel or tubing. I drilled up through that and then used wing nuts. This is probably 3/8, quarter to 3/8 inch plate steel I had to mount my compound rest onto. But now I can undo my wing nut here and one at the other end and slide my my compound rest back and forth left to right without ever moving my losing my spot. So we're pretty close here. We're going to go ahead and turn this on, and just with cranking the handles, we're going to go ahead and you can hear it. Right now I just want to nail some of the corners off. This is briar wood, so it should go pretty smooth. I can tell. Now I want to shut it down, and you see we're not completely round on this side, so I want to go in. Okay, now we have it round. So that's as far in as we're going to go. I like to make the bowls as big as I can, and I'm kind of excited that I found these. I've been looking for the special bits, and spoon bits was what I was going to use to drill out the inside hole. But I was thinking, you know, with a lathe, what's the easiest and most inexpensive process? And here it is, guys. That is a router bit for gouging out like bowls and stuff. And I have these from a 1/2 inch all the way up to 3/4. I believe I even have a 7/8. And this just goes in nice and makes a perfect bowl. So now what we're going to do is just turn a little bit of wood. I'm going to back off. This is just our rough shape. Now we want to see how far we can go in, and I can go in. My stem will be a straight piece, so I can actually go in all the way to about here and remove all this wood if I want to, or I can make it a nice rounding effect. So let's see what we have to do here. This is just turning the handle very slow. decided what angle I want to use in here yet. So this will be about it on my bowl. I'm tightening it down a little bit. So we're going to go in. And then I'm just going to go in a little more. And I'll tell you what, for getting stuff really straight and precise, this is a great way to go. I'm just using the tip of this. We'll go in a little more. So you can see there how much I'm taking off. If the lathe seems to be having any problems at all, I'll take less off. But I don't want to really knock my wood around. You can take anything. I'm going to grab one of my my tools, and you can lay it right here, and you can see how it's bouncing. So that's not square. Well, let's see. I think I just, yeah, we're good. And that's it. That's how you start to turn the bowls, and we can continue to go on all the way if we want. Now we're going to go ahead and check our chuck. Say that 3 times fast. Make sure that we're tight, and we are. Backing it off, I went in a little more. Kind of interested to see with this tool. I'm just using the edge of it instead of the side of it. But I am interested to see how smooth it's going to get the wood. Now I do everything with this. You can still see we're just about there. But that's really coming out really smooth. I'm impressed. And what I'll do is I'll take these sanding pads and I'll show you. This will be my first sand, and since it has a sponge on it, it really gets every part of it. So this piece remains in your lathe until you do everything you can. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the face off. You want to just go in a little bit. Isn't that nice? we're going to be drilling a hole. I'm not worried about the dead center, but what I am worried about is this outer edge. Okay. And you can see how crisp this edge is. And that's saving as much of the wood as you can. Right there. Now we'll go ahead later on and I'll go down in a little deeper, but this is good enough for now. And before you remove this, you're going to want to go ahead and drill the hole here for your tobacco chamber. And I do this one first because when we do the part for the stem, I actually mount the stem on, and that's turning in the lathe. So you really don't want the stem spinning around. You know, you want to leave the stem in for as long as you can. That's about it, guys. If you have any questions, just comment on the videos, and you can see if you have any questions about how I mounted this. I got this on eBay. This was around $75. They range from $75 to up in the $150 neighborhood. You could also use an XYZ vise or a milling table. I might switch later on to a milling table and mount it on here. And you can actually do metal in this now. These are metal cutting tips, but you can see it's super smooth. And I'll go ahead and sand this on the low speed with 1500 2000 grit sandpaper. That's the beginning of our pipe. Thanks for watching. This was an extension we had to make because the area here was about an inch and an eighth, and this is around 7/8 in here. So I had to make this piece and raise it up. I just tap and drilled to lock it in place. Same here on my tool post. Well, it looks like we're running out of time.